But in the last video, you said you've gone to Hollywood recently. You haven't seen that whole Hollywood vibe where you kind of go there and they're filming this and they're filming that. Um, and that is because. What's up, guys? I'm Zap, and this is Jericho. We are now 6-time international award-winning pop, hip-hop music duo, band and future. Yo, we make clean, fun music that everyone can listen to with the sound that's unique in California. And now you are tuned in to the Life of Circus podcast, where we talk about things that are funny, interesting, and ridiculous, like this outfit right now.
Hey.
So make sure you like, subscribe, share, and comment. But especially share this video with somebody who's Hollywood, man, because we're breaking it down.
Baby.
Because it ain't all fur coats and sunglasses, you know what I'm saying? We're breaking it down. We're getting real for you as people who live in the area, telling you what it's really like. Now, off the air,
don't know what you're talking about, man. Let's just keep it moving, shall we? Just keep it moving, shall we?
Off the air, you told me about an experience you had with Hollywood.
There's lots of Hollywood experiences, man. I don't know which one you're talking about specifically.
Because we talked about it being maybe a little bit on the dirty side.
Sure.
A little bit of crime happening down there as well. We talked about the homeless situation. And, it being not an everyday thing, lifestyle where you just living it up. You have to have real life. But it's a diversity of people in Hollywood. I don't think people really think about when they think of Hollywood. And
is that your
well
yeah.
Now one thing that I can say,
okay,
and I don't care who hears it. The amount of beautiful people here is ridiculous.
True.
And it's like that's one of the things that just shocked me when I came out here, because I think a lot of people too, it's like you see a movie or a magazine or something and you're like, they don't really look like that. And then you see them in person and like, oh my God, they really look like that, just walking down the street. And not even the famous people, just like regular everyday people who are trying to get to that level. The most good looking, like everything is just looks like, oh my God. Right. Yes, it's here.
Yeah.
Now whether they want to get with you, that's another situation. But you can be fooled from time to time.
All right. So what I was going to say first, I will say what happens is that makes sense, because since the beginning of whenever Hollywood started, people have come this way to seek their fame and fortune, right? So in general, better looking people are coming to get these roles. And so they're all here. And then they just, even if they don't make it, they still intermingle, if you will, and create more good looking people. So that's what happens. So you usually expect to see someone really good looking in Hollywood. Sometimes the person you see isn't who you thought that person was. So maybe, just maybe, it so happened that I saw someone that looked so good that I had to do a double back on the car situation, kind of do a little interrupt the traffic situation, do a little bit of making things a little dangerous for everyone in this, for the benefit of my own personal gain situation.
I see.
Only to find out that I flipped a quick one for a man, baby. And it wasn't, but I
assure cut up that soundbite.
Yeah, I know.
With no context
on wording of things, but all I'm saying is that it was a very good looking, very feminine looking man, and this was when it wasn't as common. How about that? I'll say it like that. So maybe 12, 13 years ago, I thought for sure that was a woman, 100%, and I had not seen a man with the capacity to look like that, and I was surprised, to say the least, but nowadays, I wouldn't have been as surprised. I think that's much more of a common thing.
To your credit, I have been fooled so many times Like from the back, I think it's one thing, and the front, it's a different thing. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, well, you got me.
And even from the front, bro, sometimes like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what you are.
Touche.
So
Whatever take the technology. I hope they're using that technology on the space stations and the AI robots because that technology is getting really good for people who
mhm.
want to change whatever they have going on. I digress though. Uh, but that kind of leads into this other thing I wanted to mention, which is I think a very cool thing that I don't think, again, a lot of people don't know if they come to visit Hollywood. And you might not realize that there's really four different Hollywoods.
Mhm.
So you have the Central Hollywood, which is like the touristy place, Capitol Records building, Madame Tussauds, Hollywood Highland, like all the touristy, lots of clubs up the Sunset Strip.
Mhm.
Um, but if you go too far west,
You get the
it
West
changes
Hollywood,
up on
baby.
you.
West Hollywood.
It changes up on you. So there's Central Hollywood, and there's West Hollywood, which is a um, incredibly large LGBTQ. There's more letters now. I don't know,
Yes.
but it's like I mean, is San Francisco like the capital of the world for that?
I would say so, but I'm
Like
not sure.
West Hollywood has to be number two.
Yeah, for real.
Like it is an entire city that is just centered around that. And I've actually never. I mean, I've been to San Francisco is a big city. Like, you
Yeah.
can't like maybe there's suburbs or something like West Hollywood, but I haven't been to those places. But West Hollywood is like LGBTQ central.
Yes.
If that's your thing and you want to, but that's the thing. Like you come to Hollywood and you might end up in West Hollywood and you're like, oh, this is different.
Look,
Yeah, it's a
hey,
totally different. This is a different thing.
one time there's this club called Tiger Heat. And I had a friend who worked there as a dancer,
Uh-huh. You
and
thought you
he
was
was
going
like,
to a regular club?
sure isn't regular. So I was like, he's like, hey, I can get you in. I said, for sure. So I rolled up with four girls and we went
Uh,
to Tiger Heat. So they let us in free because I was, let girls get in free and they let me in. And it was one of the most fun times I ever had. I mean, because it was just the party atmosphere was crazy. The only thing that got me was I'd never seen a male go-go dancer in person.
mhm,
It's intense. I'll
yeah.
say that. It's intense.
Uh,
I can't imagine dancing for 5 hours straight like that, but it was an experience. I'll just say that. Well, a lot of fun, a lot of fun, and then we
uh,
went to the taco truck on Wilshire afterwards. I think.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, sometimes because I mean, for both of us, that's not our thing.
yeah,
So, like, I, I kind of, I prefer some warning as to like what I'm getting into. Because sometimes people have given me addresses for gigs, and it's
hmm
like, oh, it's on Sunset in Hollywood. I'm like, cool, but sometimes it's like far west, and then I'm like, oh, this is a different kind of gig than what I expected.
I've seen some things, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
I've definitely seen some things.
it's a different world when you go west. But there's other parts of Hollywood as well. One of my favorite parts is North Hollywood,
Hmm
which is totally different vibe. It's more artsy, artistic. It's a rehearsal place. I used to go there a lot of times. But it's a lot of musicians, a lot of artists, a lot of
Yeah,
like crafters, painters. Like it's a really cool um, atmosphere, I guess. I think if I was going to go to Hollywood, I would end up in a place like that.
Definitely more
Yeah.
chill. They have
Yeah.
what, hotel cafes up there.
Hmm.
They have a couple. It's just you get there, it's very much more relaxed, and the streets are filled with confused robots that walk around looking for people.
That
So
was in North Hollywood.
yeah.
Ah, yeah. It's more borderline, dare I say, hipster. I think
Oh,
it's
I would say definitely hipster.
yeah,
Definitely hipster.
and I think that's changed over time, but it's just always been artsy, I guess.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, that's a if you coming to Hollywood and you want to, these are like different vibes. They're like nobody tells you on like TripAdvisor or Expedia or whatever.
Nice.
So you get the inside scoop here.
It's far
Um,
though, man.
but yeah, I like North Hollywood. And then there's East Hollywood, which is also very different. It's crazy. Like that's how it is out here. You go like 5 miles and you're in a totally different world.
Hmm.
East Hollywood is it's very Mexican and it's different than all the other ones. Big Mexican and a big Armenian population
Hmm.
over there as well. I don't know how much time you spend in East Hollywood.
Not much of the Hollywoods that spent the least time east.
It's not a big area, but
Mhm.
it's more like it's more families, I think, there and blue collar people and
Okay.
it's good food, restaurants. It's a it just feels more like regular LA. I can't even name like something that's
Mm.
big
I
down there.
could see it on a map. I'd probably be like, "Oh yeah, I've seen that. I know that is."
Yeah, it's just this weird normal part in between Silver Lake and Hollywood,
Okay.
basically.
Yeah, I
So
think I
yeah,
know what you're talking about.
yeah, those are the parts of Hollywood. So
Hollywood, baby.
if you're visiting,
Hollywood
um,
swinging.
but in the last video, you said you've gone to Hollywood recently. You haven't seen that whole Hollywood vibe where you kind of go there and they're filming this and they're filming that. Um, and that is because Hollywood is on the decline, man.
Uh-oh.
Hollywood is on the decline, and
Uh-oh.
this isn't breaking news. It's the I mean, if you haven't been paying attention, if you're not in the biz, you know what I'm saying.
Mhm.
I think the warning signs have been around for years, even before COVID.
Mhm.
Um, so there's a few different reasons, and this is an exhaustive list. But one thing is just that one thing that hits everybody's pocket, including Hollywood, is just the cost.
Sure.
Um, it's just so expensive to do anything here, and especially filming here. There's lots of rules and regulations, and you have to pay even the stuff that we've tried to do. We wanted to shoot this or shoot that, and it's just like
Mhm. No.
you have to get a permit for this and a permit for that, and you got to hire this number of police officers, and you have to have a permit paramedic, and you have to have a fire person, make sure you use the fire code, and man, it's like to shoot a movie, you have to have astronomical amounts of money here,
Mhm.
you know, um, to do anything like that. So what has been happening is that at a very steady rate, people have been shooting their films and movies and stuff in other places around the country, um, New Orleans, Texas.
Mhm.
You have Tyler Perry in
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Mhm.
Um, people shooting stuff in Chicago, Florida, and then even other countries. A lot of big movies go to Australia or New Zealand or some places in Europe. So it's the Hollywood as the central place has diversified a lot.
Mhm.
And the statistic here is that in the 1920s, about 95% of the stuff um, for like film and television was shot in Hollywood. Now that's down to about 55%.
That's significant. Wow.
Yes. So about the last 100 years, it's been a steady decline. Only half the stuff is shot here. And then another thing to add on to that is the emergence of where we are right now, which is YouTube.
Hey.
So a lot of independent creators who have gone like outside of the Hollywood system, and I think this is really interesting to show how um, like life is just one big circle
Mm,
because you see the growth of Hollywood was actually came out of people leaving from another situation. And the
mm.
decline of Hollywood is people leaving Hollywood to create another situation. So it's like going in a circle.
I see. Yeah.
Um, because the original Hollywood was in New Jersey, actually.
I
Um,
did not know that.
yes. So um, Thomas Edison, uh, great inventor, had
That
a big
guy.
hand in the movie process when it first started, and there was he had actually had harsh patent laws on how you could make movies, um, and so a lot of stuff was coming out of New Jersey, and people got tired of that, and so they moved and started Hollywood, and that's kind of how Hollywood started, among other things.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and so now it's like there's so many rules and regulations, restrictions on creativity, and you know, and there's other things outside like the like 2020, like the Oscar so white movement, the Me Too movement, all this other stuff where people are like, I must go here and start my own thing.
Mm.
That's yeah, like Tyler Perry studios popping up in Atlanta and all these other places, people starting YouTube channels like us.
There we go.
People like Kev on stage, someone that I follow pretty rigorously, or is that the right word? Rigorously?
I mean, regularly,
Regularly? I don't know.
eh.
But it was very interesting because I'd only seen him on YouTube, and then I went to a filming in Hollywood, and I saw him as a celebrity, whatever. I'm like, okay, he went from YouTube to like celebrity status, and that's not like the traditional Hollywood, whatever stories.
Mhm.
You're on the side of the road, and some guy pulls up like, "Hey, kid, you got the goods. I'll put you in my motion
Is
picture.
that?
You're gonna be a star, huh?" So yeah,
Mm.
I think that's going to keep happening, man. And then you throw another wrinkle in there, AI, where I
Mm.
mean you'll eventually probably be able to shoot a film, a TV series, movie anywhere, and you don't
Sure.
need Hollywood. You don't need to come to Hollywood to quote unquote make it.
The end of an era. Jeez.
And man, I think it's the beginning of the end of an era, man. But I could be wrong, man. Let us know what you think. Leave a comment. Am I wrong? Is this the end of Hollywood? Is it just a dip in the cycle, or are they going to come back strong with the new um, Expendables movie?
Ooh, I mean,
And
probably because they're right. They still have stupid money
yeah, yeah,
for now.
that's. I mean, there's so many angles you could take
Mm.
because as someone who works in it too, again, it's just like it's not it can be a very regular job. So like there's lots of money, but it's concentrated at the top. And so
Sure. Sure.
just like there's a declining middle class, there's a declining middle class of like actors and like film positions and stuff like that. Um so
That's interesting. A friend of mine is an investment banker, and she would go to talk to directors to talk about financing the movie. And she was always talking about going to New Orleans or going to Texas or whatever. And I was like, what happened to the Hollywood? Never wants her to talk about talking to someone here. She actually had to go there. So
mhm.
that's interesting.
Yeah, man.
Dang, Hollywood, you better get it together.
Gotta get it together fast before they take your job. They're gonna take your job if you don't get it together. People making movies everywhere. Ah.
They took our jobs! They took our jobs! Took our jobs!